our top stories, Marina to shorten onboard training of cadets. Philippines seek re-election to IMO Council. Maritime sector celebrates first year of OSS crew change. BCG opens applications for international cadetship program. Welcome to Marine World Weekend. I am Lynn Bacani. Heeding the call from the stakeholders, the Maritime Industry Authority or MARINA is now considering reducing the duration of the required onboard training or OBT of cadets in maritime bachelor's degrees. A virtual public consultation on the draft Marina circular on the guidelines for the onboard training of cadets on the Philippine registered ships engaged in domestic shipping was held on October 5. Captain Edgardo Flores, the owner's representative of the Eastern Mediterranean Manning Agency, and Mr. Sabino Zar Mangdikmot II, the president of the Philippine Maritime Institutions or PAMI, expressed their concerns and suggestions. In response, Marina Administrator Vice Admiral Robert M. Pedrad said that the agency will look into the possibility of reducing to 6 months instead of 12 months the required OBT for cadets.
But I want to remind Marina and of course Chad na itong TRB na to is for officer in charge of navigational watch. And these cadets will go on board as a student. So they need another training record book to comply with what is the required ng education. Kasi yung training record book na ginagamit ng ISF at saka ng Global Met is for aspiring officer in charge of navigational watch. Kasi itong sasampa sa barko na to is for candidate for graduation, not for certification. So ang tanong ang aking follow-up din dito sa TRB, saan ba siya magsisimula from 500 pataas? Kasi marami doong items, sabihin na natin baka 85% is not sa 500 tons. So how can this comply with the requirements for graduation? So ito yung isang aking tanong. Pangalawa, meron isang follow-up pa, Mr. Sam, after this. Paano nating magagamit itong training record book for OIC sa mga estudyante ng after ng classroom instruction will go on board as a student?
My suggestion is born from the concern earlier of Captain Flores. Because if you would look at the STCW concern is for the requirements of acquiring the COC. What we have done is, these requirements, we have placed these requirements for a bachelor's degree. So my suggestion would be, is that Marina to consider either removing the OBT for the purpose of acquiring a bachelor's degree, or at the very least reduce the duration. Instead of following the requirements of a COC for the requirements for the COC, why not reduce the duration and reduce the requirements to accommodate maybe 3 months instead of the sea service of 12 months?
Yes, John. Actually, I was taking note on the comment of Captain Ed. Sure, we agree with ang sabi naman is not more than 12 months. So we are contemplating on reducing the number of sea service to less than 12 months, siguro 6, something like that. But there should be a good system to ensure na hindi pa rin mawala yung standard. The issue why EMSA is mentioned on this in their findings is because when they inspected one ship, nakita nila kasi ang daming tao, daming kadete. aside from the training officer cannot handle training people, so many, yung safety pa ng kadete are compromised. So yun eh. If we have not done this, hindi sana ako papansinin ng EMSA. I think our problem is in implementation. Nakita ng EMSA kasi ang daming kadete sa isang barko, walang tulugan, walang safety gears. So they came up with with a general statement na palagay ko hindi kayo structured. So I think the implementation is risky. If all of us can only implement it properly, yung ating circular na pinapalabas, I think EMSA will not think about mentioning all of this. But sir, I fully agree with that. We will check on this. I took note of your concern. And tignan po natin. Kasi if we remove the 1-year OBT in the baccalaureate degree, that will require a law siguro eh. But let's see kung anong magagawa natin. Shed has something to say about this dapat siguro.
The Department of Transportation or the OTR Maritime Sector celebrated the first anniversary of the country's one-stop shop or OSS crew change operations via a virtual platform. The highlight of the commemoration is the recognition of OSS personnel and key public and private partners who have rendered exceptional services and great contributions to the success of the crew change operations. As of October 5, 2021, the OSS has served a total of 4,290 international vessels and 71,643 Filipino and foreign seafarers since the opening of the country's first crew change hub in September 2020.
As the global crew change crisis progressed, the International Maritime Organization or the IMO called for the cooperation of its member states to recognize seafarers as key workers. The Philippine government, through the Department of Transportation and its attached agencies, heeded the IMO's call and opened its maritime borders in September of 2020. With this, international vessels were welcomed into the country to facilitate necessary crew changes and repatriation. The Philippine Maritime Sector also forwarded its efforts to activate 6 crew change Authority Port Management Office, Bataan/Aurora. The Philippine Ports Authority or PPA has also established a facility inside Port Kapinpin with a 124-bed capacity including 25 cubicles intended for high-risk individuals. The OSS for seafarers in Port of Manila is the largest crew change hub in the Philippines. Being a competent port, it is capable of processing the crew change requirements of cruise vessels as well as those infected by COVID-19. OSS Port of Manila is fully equipped to cater all operational requirements for a crew change hub, including the swift conduct of medical evacuation for vessels in need. The OSS Port of Manila also houses a treatment facility at the Eva Macapagal Super Terminal with about 211 cubicles distributed in different zones of infection, in such mild, advanced, and severe. Moreover, being the crew change hub in nation's capital, Port of Manila has sufficient resources to cater the special needs of cruise ships for massive repatriation. Since its establishment in September 2020, the OSS has served a total of 34 cruise ships with 561 on-signers and 1,634 off-signers. The OSS in Batangas is the sixth and latest crew change hub that was established in the country last December 16, 2020. Considering its proximity, it was opened to serve as an alternate crew change hub to Port of Manila. In the Visayas region, the OSS in Cebu was activated on October 14, 2020, to cater seafarers residing in the provinces of Region 7 and other nearby areas. Located in a major port of Cebu province, crew change requests from both domestic and foreign registered vessels are catered to help ensure a smooth flow of processing for seafarers. Lastly, in the southern part of the country, OSS in Davao was established on November 20, 2020. Its activation aims to facilitate crew changes in Mindanao, subject to the established COVID-19 protocols of the national government. Situated near Indonesia and Malaysia, OSS Davao is housed in a part that is fully equipped to cater operational requirements for a crew change hub. In its continued desire to protect the general well-being of Filipino seafarers, the Philippine government, through the issuance of Joint Circular on Green Lane for Seafarers, which serves as the legal framework for the country's establishment of its OSS, is still continuing to facilitate the disembarkation and embarkation of our seafarers. Given that seafarers are the lifeline of the world's economy, the crew change hubs in the OSS will continue to implement the necessary measures to ensure that repatriated seafarers are COVID-free and replacement crew is in their best condition. As the OSS concludes its first year, the country's maritime sector will continue to uphold its commitment to providing seafarers with up-to-date quarantine and testing requirements for their continued employment. With the continued support of the national government, local government units, and private stakeholders, the DOTR maritime sector is hopeful that crew change operations in the Philippines will continue even beyond the COVID-19 pandemic. This is the commitment of your Maritime Philippines, the crew change capital of the world.
Up next, Philippines seeks re-election to IMO Council. PCG opens applications for International Cadetship Program.
What if I tell you that KSIM Connect has become a reality? It is the cloud-based ecosystem for maritime education and training, where Kongsberg provides simulation and services to all members. As an instructor, my main goal is to educate and train seafarers to acquire skills promoting safety, sustainability, and efficiency at sea. At KSIM Connect, I can efficiently manage my simulators, my exercises, and my students. In the exercise archive, I can store my library of exercises, and if I want, collaborate and share them with my colleagues or others in the global community. KSIM Connect enables me to give students access to cloud simulation, so they can train anytime and anywhere while learning at their own pace. In addition, I can explore the library of models and exercise areas, download or subscribe those that fit the learning objectives. And I can even order spare parts or a service visit if needed. Kongsberg has started to create the future of maritime education and training by creating the community where instructors can find news, explore and download available simulator models, distribute or share exercises that fit the curriculum. Imagine using Case and Connect to integrate our simulators in the same virtual exercise environment, enabling students to train and interact together. It doesn't matter whether you're in Singapore, Australia, or in the United States. As long as you're online, you are part of the knowledge-sharing community. Kongsberg is shaping the future of maritime education and training by creating the community. Let's continue building this community together for the benefit of ourselves and the entire maritime training industry. Join KSIM Connect today.
Mariana Academy of Maritime Studies. Full STCW assessment for seafarers. One-stop shop. Unique with mapped-up bridge. Mariana Academy of Maritime Studies stands firm on its commitment on training and assessment despite challenges of the pandemic. Re-election to the International Maritime Organization or IMO Council under Category C for the biennium 2022 to 2023. The Council is the executive organ of IMO and is responsible under the Assembly for supervising the work of the organization. The Maritime Industry Authority or MARINA explains that the membership to the IMO Council provides the privilege to contribute to the policy formulation and decision-making processes of the IMO and grants voting rights to the Council. It is also a venue to promote Filipino seafarers, Philippine ship registry, shipbuilding and ship repair, and other maritime industries in the global maritime world, paving the way to more opportunities for Filipinos and the industry. It also allows participation in the advancement of safer ships, welfare of the seafarers, and protection of the marine environment. Election for the IMO Council members will be held during the IMO Assembly 32nd session on December 6 to 15, 2021. Here's a teaser of the Philippines' presentation of its candidature for re-election to the IMO Council. PCG is looking for qualified and interested applicants to the International Cadetship program at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy or USCGA class of 2026. Successful applicants who shall be admitted as regular cadets at the USCGA will receive financial assistance to cover necessary expenses such as tuition fees, monthly payments, allowances, accommodation, and transportation costs, as well as other government benefits. Upon graduation, said cadets will be commissioned at the PCG as regular officers with the rank of ensign and are required to render a minimum of 8 years of continuous active service. Next, on Maritime Viewpoints, Ms. Rachel Lopez, President of WMOC Medical and Diagnostic Clinic, talks about the different COVID-19 tests and the factors affecting the test's accuracy. Thank you for watching Marino World Weekend. Stay tuned on Marino World Online for more maritime news and views. I am Lynn Bacani. Stay safe.